Hey, hello, it's Kevin. Today's the 20th of January 2021, and I'm happy to be here. Well, yes, I am happy to be here. And there was a little bit of a pause on my part this morning. Um, yeah, I like to share myself openly and truthfully as much as possible. Um, whoops, there we go. That's better. Might notice I've got different spectacles on today. About a week or so ago, and I'll get to the reason why I'm feeling a little indifferent today. Um, you know, I put my spectacles on my the nightstand next to my bed. And I don't know what happened, but somehow when I could see you too, thanks, Mallory. Somehow when I woke up, I knocked the specs on the floor and, picked them up and obviously cleaned them and, went to put them on to do my day. This has been about a week or so. I went to put them on to do my, whatever I need to see. And over the course of about a week or so, I kept noticing that I had to keep cleaning them and they never seemed to clear. I thought, oh, this is weird. So I held them up to the light and I saw all these scratches on the center of the lens that you look through. And so it bothered me. And I thought, well, you know what? It's no big deal. I can just keep going with them. It'll be fine. And suddenly a thought came to my mind. Well, I bought three pairs last summer to the tune of $1,400. Pair of sunglasses, these, which are my old or my former glasses, and then a new pair, which I'm usually wearing. And I thought, well, seemingly these folks in these places that do this, they give you scratch resistant, totally supposedly indestructible lenses, which I bought. I paid that extra for that extra. So I had an appointment. I went along to the place I usually get. I won't mention the company because I think, well, really wasn't necessarily their fault. Anyway, I asked, what can you do? Now, kindly, the gentleman said, I can give you 50% off. Oh, yeah, that will help. And in my mind, I'm thinking, two lenses. You hear on the TV what they cost. Buy one, get one free. This is free. That's this, that's that. I don't know. In my head, I thought maybe $60, $70 for progressive lenses. Oh, no. $225. Wait a minute. I just gave you 14, 13, 14 last summer and had all this bougie coatings put on that was supposed to be indestructible. And it's kind of like, well, yes, he said, but these have evidently been scratched. He said they're destroyed. Yes. And with this expensive coating on them, I don't expect that to happen. So he was a very nice gentleman. And obviously, when you work for the company, you work for the company. It's where you get your paycheck. I'm not going to take out my somewhat frustration or confusion on this man. So evidently, okay, here you go. Here's the money. And spirit, bring it back. I'm sure that will happen. But I'm just saying that, these things come along and they go, ooh, wallop. And then later on in the day, I typically like to confirm people and somebody who booked several hours of time wasn't able to make it. The schedule's different, and unfortunately it allows the day to drop out. And I got really clear about, thankfully I filled the space, somebody else moved into that space, so it's all good. And I'm not complaining, I'm just getting real with, I understand most everybody has things that come along and knock them off center. Unexpected issues that cause us all to do two things. There's a reaction and there's a response. In the middle of reaction and response, there are the feelings that get generated as a result of what we're thinking, what we're manifesting with this these tasks that we've got. Some burdens that we have right now are pretty heavy, and with the majority of heaviness landing on the laps and the minds and the hearts of so many individuals, it's very easy to get pulled into the undertow and swept out to wherever. Light work, they talk about people being light workers and doing light work and enlightening. Well, it's still work, and there's still work to be done. Transforming is work. To say, oh, you're moving into transformation, you're growing, things are happening, it's great. That's a really good light of hope to move towards, but there's still the work of offloading, letting go of the ideas, the habits, the mental patterning that has come before. And by that, I'm saying in my own situation, I think yesterday I followed a visualization about seeing yourself, your spiritual self, and looking at yourself, and then telling yourself something and seeing what the feeling comes up. There's a thought that comes behind it. And what's the feeling? Is it a good feeling or is it a not so good feeling? Well, that's the deprogramming of what has come up before. So in my own situation, when I'm faced with, okay, here's my fixed expenses, we don't know what this income looks like, which is a good thing and not so good, which means it's flexible. Flexible meaning, woo, sky's the limit, let's go. We can keep going. That's where the mind needs to be. There is a constant flow of income that is available to me at all times from everywhere. Even though sitting here right now, I don't know what that looks like. Then there is this other side that says, well, ding it, I've got to meet all these other things. So there's, in amongst all of these balancing act of, there's an intention, there's a reaction, there's a response, fears will pop up. And in times where we feel vulnerable, and in my case yesterday I felt vulnerable, the fear is going to pop up. The fear is the big story. It's the big not good enough, not going to be enough, the fear that we will run out, the fear that we will not be able to do it. And in my own, it's a lie, it's not true, is I'm not going to be able to meet my bills. I'm not going to be able to pay the bills. I can't this. That, for me, is a limiting response. It's a limiting statement. And if I continue to walk down the aisle of limiting beliefs and limiting statements, that will become the reality that I create. So it's easy to do because that has been what has become before. And then you get clear with, oh, now I need to transform from those negative programming beliefs and be with the gratitude that I can do it, that it's available, that I am able to walk into a shop and say, unfortunately, there's been an issue with my spectacles, and I am able to sit down, and instead of saying, well, my goodness, this costs this much, and now you're asking me to pay more, I should have said, I'm grateful for the 50% off, because otherwise this would have been $450 and it's only $225. This is the piece that creates the change. It's just a number. The truth is, I'm not going to see a pile of bills, dollar bills, 10s, 15s, 20s. I'm not going to actually look at it. I won't actually sit there and count it out. It'll come from somewhere. It'll go in here and come out there. It always does that. It's like water, just flows. Just to open the floodgates and turn down the fear that stops it. Fear is a limiting belief, but there's also vulnerability in changing habits of a lifetime, thoughts of a lifetime, the transforming into something bigger, greater. Oh, goodness. You don't shift the fear just because, oh, well, I've got more here, more here. The fear is still there. Long years ago, I had a wonderful mentor that was helping me with my relationship with money and finances. It's been a bit bumpy. I don't know why, but it has. It's getting better, thankfully. But this person said, you know, a millionaire has the same fears as somebody who is just comfortable. Doesn't matter. People who have an abundance of financial wealth have the same fears, the same expenses. And in this situation, you know, that the 225 that was a bit of a pinch for me might have been 225,000. Oh, gracious. It's relative. It's all relative. So in saying that, I pulled the cards this morning, and I have to say, you know, there was part of me that said, look, if I'm not feeling the good kumbaya, la-vi-da and all this good stuff, you know, I can't really go out there and do a lovely meditation and inspiring and empowering message. But then I got real to, you know, there's people out there struggling. And then I'm sitting quietly, drinking my little cup of fabulous coffee. A friend of mine brought some of these coffee beans back from California, and there were 2 bags. One was a Christmas blend, and one was some kind of caramelly. I mean, it was lovely. It was a bit sweet. So one was a bit strong, one was a bit sweet and flavory. I just pushed the 2 together, shoved it in the blender, and whoosh, here we go. It's pretty good. I'm going to be sad when it's all gone because I've got that, I can smell the sort of honeyish, the caramelly, but then I've also got that oaky, espresso-y taste up underneath it. It's kind of lovely. Anyway, where was I? So I sat thinking, what is struggle? What is it really? Struggle is having your hands and feet tied with rope in the dark, blindfolded, and you can't call anybody, you can't get out. That's struggle. A challenge? A challenge is what you sit there and say, oh, I'm meeting this challenge. What can I do? And you look at what you have, and you look at what you have to do, and you look at a plan to put it forward. So nothing is really a struggle if you look at it as a challenge. A struggle would be, you know, my own situation. Mortgage is due, car payments due, whatever's due, and there's not enough funding in it to meet that bill by that time. And I'm sure I'm speaking a lot of people's language. I'm sure a lot of people are saying, wow, goodness gracious me, they've cut my hours this week. Oh my goodness, my company's shut down. I don't have a job. I'm sure there are lots of people that say that. So what do? You sit there in that muddle and say, oh gracious. And it's a heaviness as our heart feels like, whoa, I don't know about this. And it doesn't feel good, I can tell you. So what do? Let it pass, analyze it, look at it, just let it get in there. Get in that ditch of doubt, that dirty, ratchet place that makes you feel not so good. then when you're there, and because avoiding it is what we do, right? Avoiding it is where we go. Oh, I avoided all that yesterday. What did I do? I went and got myself a tub of Ben and Jerry's chocolate fudge brownie, and I ate it. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh, I don't really feel any better. The feeling is still there. It's still feeling vulnerable. Now I've just packed on 1,000 calories. I'm just saying that I'm human and I get all this stuff too. Did it feel good? Yeah, it tasted good. It was okay. Do I regret it? Yeah, I do. Not, I regret it. It's like that was not the wisest thing for me to do at all. What would have been the wisest thing? To get to the point where what they call those things, pity parties, gets to the point where it's just ridiculous, and you get like, well, okay, I could sit here and do this all day long. Well, how is that going to help the situation? How is that going to move anything from here to here? So, how interesting is this? I'm shuffling the cards and I'm looking for a jumper, and the first one that popped out was our friend. I swear, whoever drew this must have been thinking about RuPaul when they drew this angel. It's lovely. I think it's fantastic, and it just reminds me of my friend Billy I've talked about, who is on the other side, and Billy just would be like, "Woo! It doesn't really matter. We just go do it. Doesn't matter. Who cares?" This is the kind of transformation that I needed, and yet I'm looking at it thinking, okay, I don't quite know what else to say about that other than, all right. Then the next card that came up was the Dream Walker, not the Dream Weaver, the Dream Walker, but it's upside down. This is what it looks like right side up. So the collective good and the illusions. The Dream Walker really, when it comes to transformation, in this particular collection, all these two cards together, it's inviting us all to look at where we're being realistic, honest, truthful, and where we've created this dream that is really not reality. Now that can go two ways. You can have a dream that is built upon something amazing happening, like a big dream, a dream that you want to achieve, you want to go for. Well, I don't know what I did that for. Okay, there you go. Or a dream that makes you feel less than, like the fear, the vulnerability, all of that. These two together are saying transformation happens when you walk through the fire of fear. You have to walk through the fire of fear to know it was just something you had to face. It's just something you have to look at. Every stepping stone we have on this journey of this human experience is showing us, teaching us, it is something to be resolved and reconciled and moved forward. It isn't reality. You know yourself, you have these bizarre dreams. Like the night before last, I was dreaming about this mostly white with grey markings on it puppy. I think the puppy must have been, I don't know, 12 to 3 or 4 months old. I can't really tell. Anyway, I'm at this lady's house. I don't know this lady. She had a small child, 6 or 7, and I don't know whether this lady was a breeder or whether she was a rescue person. This is a dream. It's not reality. It's not really going on. And I'm in her house, and I am playing and roughing and tumbling with this puppy. And I don't know whether I intend to adopt it, to get it, to buy it. It's certainly not a dog I've ever owned before. Anyway, it woke me up. to the point of, as if I was awake. I went back to bed, or went back to sleep, turned over, and here goes the dream again. Running in this, basically this lady's backyard with a chain link fence. I could see her little red shed, and the little boy talking to me saying, "This is the last one. We've only got one left. It's very special." And this little boy was trying to tell me all about this puppy. So that was it. It was bizarre, but the point of it all, it was a dream. If we dream deep enough, big enough, strong enough, that becomes a reality. But I have to warn you and myself, if you're dreaming in limiting dreams, such as can't do this because fill in the blank, haven't got enough money to do so and so because fill in the blank, I'm not going to make it because fill in the blank, that becomes a dream that will become reality unless we transform the thinking and the intention behind the thinking and turn it around. So the person who perhaps lost 12 hours of work because of whatever reason, hours got cut by 12, the money got cut by whatever that looks like. There's fear. Well, I've got the same bills coming in, but I've got less money earning it. The dream, that becomes a dream unless it transforms into, oh, okay, not a problem. I'll look for another one. I'll get out there and find another way to compensate. This kind of thing. We don't necessarily want to do that because that's challenging and it's struggle and it means work, but we're faced with it. Well, then what if you do follow it and you do share it and you do say, listen, I've got this situation that's happened. Let me know if there's something you feel like I should be doing, or something you feel like I need to know, or something you feel like I need to be going for. You never know, you might turn the corner and someone said, do you know that this person just quit and they've gone on to do something else? You can fill that space. And then before you know it, you're saying to the place that had to cut your hours, listen, I'm moving on to something else. My personal thought on work, money, finances is, if you can get to the space where you can turn your passion into a way to support yourself, that's the way to go. That is what I feel like the future looks like. The future looks like most of us being independently wealthy, financially secure, and all working for ourselves, generating our own income. I, for one, worked for myself since, well, before, and I took a 1.5 year period of time between 2004 and the middle of 2006 where I worked for a company and generated a paycheck. That elevated my career to a degree, but it didn't really make me feel independent. And I wasn't really fulfilling what I wanted for myself. And so I went back into working for myself, generating my own income at a time when the first financial downturn happened. Shortly after I did that, the economy went somewhere. It was the time of Enron. It was the time that GM was having issues. Banks were being bailed out. Property growth. You probably remember that, 2009, 2008. It took until 2010 or 11 for it to begin to start slowly making its way back. Went to work as a contractor part-time for somebody else, but I still maintained my own business. So that's what I'm sort of saying for those of you who have thought about being entrepreneurs or working for yourself. Write down what that looks like. Put those plans out there. Dream, be the dream walker, and transform from dependency to independency. And with those, that looks like, how do I generate an income from what I'm really passionate about and join up with other people to do the same thing? All right, it is time to meditate. Feet flat on the floor. Big breath in. Release out. Another breath in and out. Last breath in, hold it at the top. Feel all of it going into your body. Clear the space and release. Create and generate a rhythm of your breath. Account for the inhale and exhale while you get your physical body, your feet and your seat situated. Know that it takes a while for the mind to settle. Physically concentrating on the breath going in and out. Every exhale, release the tension that has been stored in your joints, in your tissues, in your muscles. Let the inhale become the energy that creates the space and the opportunity to release. As you sit quietly, hearing exactly what you hear. The experience of listening to sounds detach and avoid any meaning or feeling associated with what you listen to. Know that sounds and noise gives the experience of listening Breathe even deeper, longer. Access complete stillness. Be in the space and experience of complete relaxation, complete emptiness. Allow and have the experience that all thoughts and the experience they generate have ceased. You are now in complete stillness, experiencing a deep state of meditation. In this deep state of stillness, separated between the physical doing and thinking and being, and the world of complete and deep relaxation, be with the knowledge that you have the ability right here, right now, to change all thought forms the opportunity, the intention, and the ability to change all intentions. Be willing to listen and to receive wisdom from the part of your higher consciousness Allow your heart to be open, mind to be open, allow the energy that exists within you, your spirit, to now attract and receive all opportunities or miracles that are for your highest good and the highest good of others. In this deep space of relaxation between the physical doing and being, the deep communication with spirit, have and hold the feeling of gratitude, of blessings, of miracles, of gifts. Have gratitude and awareness for the ability, the physical skills to complete tasks, the willingness and the ability to help others, be with the energy of and have gratitude for the ability and the desire to follow your North Star. Be open and willing to receive higher knowledge, higher messages. With humility, grace, and gratitude, honor and give thanks. That your guardian angel offers help when you need it. That your guides and angels of the higher registry are surrounding you with love, with abundance, with security. With humility, grace, and gratitude, know that you have the ability to face and dissolve your fears and anxiety. You have the ability, the grace to cut the ties from all negativity. And replace the thoughts that do not serve you with the energy of abundant health, financial wealth, unconditional love. You are the keeper of your heart and your mind and your body. You are deserving to receive all goodness. Keep this feeling of truth, humility, grace, and gratitude. Along with an open, generous heart, mind, and spirit. Gently bring your awareness back to your environment. Place your hands at heart center. Honor yourself for doing the work. Honor your angel guides and spirits for being with you. Lift your thumb knuckles between your third eye center. And together we bow and say Namaste. Thank you so much. I always feel a lift, a lightness, a brightness afterwards. It's a bit like a wash, like a cleansing. All right, my friends, it is Wednesday. It is, I think, the day that we say hello to a new government administration. Interesting day in history. Whatever you do today, make it count. Do it with a purpose. I love you, and I will see you here tomorrow morning. Bye.